this lesson, we are looking into the intersection of straight lines and circles. A big chapter because there will be a lot of problem-solving questions from this lesson. And I know you will hate it, but that's the reality. You know, a lot of circle question actually comes from exam question come from this chapter, especially intersection of straight lines and circles. So intersection of straight lines, first of all, we know is simultaneous equation. Right. Now on the side, I would like to also write down. Okay, so you should also consider discriminant between in circles and straight lines. Okay, so if two straight lines, normally it's just simultaneous equation. But when it comes to circles and straight lines, we will consider discriminant. So how does discriminant come into play? Well, here, I have actually kind of made you a table. You know what, this actually take me quite a while because it's not as easy to make a table neatly like this. The font has to be the same size, has to be right size, not too small, not too big. The image has to be right in the box. You know, it takes me lots of time. Anyway, so diagram. In here, you can see a circle and a straight line makes no intersection. All right. Therefore, the discriminant less than 0 because no solution. 0 intersection point also means 0 solution. When it touch once, okay, then also known as a tangent, then we have one intersection point. So when it's a tangent, one intersection point means one solution. One solution means discriminant equals 0. Now, when it crosses twice, two solutions is greater than 0. So hopefully you've learned this in chapter 2 about discriminant. So we're going to use this today. Right. Example, first example, find the coordinates of the points where the straight line meets the circle. First of all, meets the circle means simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation means you substitute one equation to another. So therefore, we'll substitute. Let's call this equation 1. We're a bit lazy. Okay, so we're going to sub equation 1 into equation 2. So I'm going to rewrite equation 2x squared, x plus 2 squared plus y, which is now 2 minus x minus 1 squared equals 9. So what I've done is I've substituted this in here. Okay. Right, then I'm going to do a bit of simplifying. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus x squared equals 9. Now, I did explain how to expand double bracket really quickly. See if you remember this. Okay, so to expand the double bracket really quickly, a square bracket, you do x squared and then 2 squared, so which is 4. And in the middle, you do 2 times the terms. 2 times x times 2. Okay, 2 times x is 2x times 2 is 4x. Okay, so let me write down in here. So this term in here is 2 times x times 2. Right, so I'll show you the other one as well. Okay, plus, right, 1 squared, 1. X squared is a minus, but a minus x squared, when you do a negative, square it, you get positive. So positive x squared. The middle term is, now this time is a minus. So 2 times 1 times x is 2x. So in here is 2 times 1 times x. But it's a negative because we have a minus in here. So 2 times 1 times x, 2x equals 9. That's a shortcut for expanding square bracket. Okay. And then I'm going to simplify terms. 2x squared plus 2x plus 5, bring it over, minus 4 equals 0. Let me just check my answer to make sure I'm correct. Yep. So 2x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals 0. I know it's a quadratic because of x squared. Therefore, bring everything on one side, make it equal 0. Put in the calculator. So x equals minus 2 or x equals to 1. Once you found x, naturally, we'll find the y as well. So we know y equals 2 minus x from equation 1. So y equals 2 minus x. So y equals to minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3, or y equals 2 minus x. Sorry, 2 minus x. 2 minus minus 2 is 4. Sorry. And then 2 minus x is 1. Okay, so therefore the intersection points, so the intersection points are minus 2, 4. You must group them correctly. 1, 1. Okay. Now, it is not enough to leave it in this format in here because you must group them up properly. Because as an examiner, okay, without you showing the correct way of pairing, we might have mistakenly thought you might do this minus 2 and 1, which is obviously incorrect, incorrect pairing. Okay, so you must put them in the coordinates. Right, example, next one. Okay, show that y equals x minus 7 does not meet the circle. does not meet the circle, we still treat it will meet. So we assume they meet. Okay, assume they meet. Okay, and find some issue in there. So we assume they meet. Okay, and then we can find a potential mistake, a potential error. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we assume they meet. So we're going to make this equation 1, make this equation 2. Substitute 1 into 2. So you'll be thinking, oh, why are you so lazy making equation 1 and 2? Actually, if you do move on to anything higher than A-level maths, let's say university level, then actually you'll see lots of equations, one on top of the other. At one point, you could say substitute equation 33 into equation 3 because there are too many of them. So numbering is a good way to, as a system, to put them in place, to use them in a more systematic way, a bit more neater. So y equals x minus 7, we'll substitute into that. So x plus 2 squared plus y, so x minus 7 squared equals 33. Using a shortcut for double bracket, x squared 2 times x times 2, 4x, 2 squared is 4. Next one, x squared, 2 times x times 7, minus 14x, 7 squared, 49, equals 33. Rewrite that a bit neater, put everything on one side and make it quadratic. You should get x squared, right, minus 5x plus 10. Oh, actually, no, hang on. It should be 2x squared minus 10x. And then in here should be plus 20, right? 53, yeah, equals 0. So then in here, now if you try putting calculator, if you divide by 2, that's what I did in the beginning. That's why, just to show you. This step is optional. Okay, divide by 2, because you've got a calculator to help you to factorize it. So if you try to factorize in the calculator, what you realize, try to factorize in the calculator, pause video, have a go. Okay, what you realize is, okay, or try to solve it in the calculator. Right, solving the calculator. And what do you realize? Okay, it's a maths error. Why is it a maths error? Well, of course it's a maths error because we know they don't meet. Right? We know they don't meet. So we found a potential error. So we know they don't meet. Of course it's a maths error. Because they don't meet. Right? But you can't say, the reason to show they don't meet, you say, because the calculator gives you maths error, therefore they don't meet. That's not a valid reasoning in maths, right? So, so what's a proper reasoning in maths? Well, we use discriminant, right? We use discriminant. So we have to use discriminant. So to show there's no answer, there's no solution, we have to use discriminant. So we're going to use b squared minus 4ac. Which equals to minus 10 squared plus 4 times A times C. Okay, so I'm going to use it in here. So put in a calculator, you should get minus 50, not quite minus 15. So 100, sorry, 100, 860. 4 times 2 times 8, 160. Yep. B squared, sorry, minus 4ac. That should be minus 60. Minus 60 is less than 0. Therefore, no solution. So no solution. So that's the proper way of explaining why there's no solution, why they don't meet. Therefore, they don't meet. Okay. So proper reason is required. Just like you telling me, I can't finish the homework, sir. Just telling me, oh, because it's too difficult. It's not a justifiable reason. You should come to me. Anyway, so that's the proper reasoning. Okay, so when they say they don't meet, we assume they meet, and then we use the discriminant to prove that there's no solution, therefore they don't meet. Okay, you can't say the calculator gives you maths error, therefore they don't meet. Let's move to the next one. Practice question 1. Okay, have a go. Find the points of intersection between the lines and give your answer exact value. So we've done this similar question. So pause video, have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. So here's the final answer. Okay, here's the final answer. So I made y the subject. You could have made x subject. You should have arrived at the same answer. And then I put it in, expand double bracket, so you can check your working out. And then in here, I just put in a calculator. And then I just put 4 minus x, and you write them to it as a pair of coordinates. Okay, and that's it. Next one. Okay, exam practice. pause video, have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. Here are the final answers for the exam practice question. A, center of 2 minus 4, radius 2 root 7. Hopefully you're not a stranger to working out the radius and the center of circle from this format where you have to complete the square, etc. And part B, the answer is 2 minus 2 root 7 or 2 plus 2 root 7. So if you got part A wrong, I'm going to show you how to work it out. So part A, essentially you are going to group the X together and then put the Y together. Minus 8 is outstanding. It's nothing to do with it. Mind your own business. So we're going to complete a square for the X and the Y separately. So it'll be X minus half the B term, and then minus the 2 squared plus Y plus half 8 is 4. 4 squared 16. Then you should get X minus 2 squared plus Y plus 4 squared equals to 28. So the radius will be square root of 28. And the center of circle will be 2 minus 4. Remember, with the circle equation, you do X minus A squared. So if it's a minus, you essentially change the sign. Minus 2 means 2. Plus 4 means minus 4. Okay? Part B, slightly trickier. Okay? The 2 mark. Some of you might be thinking, oh, there's so many. I've done a bit of working out. Why is it 2 marks? Well, I'm going to show you the long way. Okay? It's like eating a burger. There is a smart way and a quicker way. There's a smart way and a longer way. Okay? The longer way is in here is, okay, the longer way is, well, X equals K, right? So you substitute X equals K. Part B is substitute X equals K into the equation. So into the circle equation, let's call it equation 1. Can't be asked into 1. So K minus 2 squared plus Y plus 4 squared equals 28. Actually, you know what? This is a dumb way. What I'll do is, actually, we shouldn't stop in here because when I expand the bracket, it'll give me back to the question. So what I'll do is, instead, I'll sub this into equation 2 instead. So I'm going to sub this into equation 2. What happens is, if I sub this equation 2, they give me K squared plus Y squared. So that would be K squared plus Y squared minus 4K plus 8Y minus 8 equals 0. Now, you mentioned about K being tangent, right? Tangent. So if you look at notes, a tangent, a circle, straight line tangent means discriminant equals 0. So that's exactly what we need to do here. We need to make Y the variable. So we need to, and then we can work out the discriminant. So if I rearrange it nicely, it'll be Y squared plus 8Y plus bracket K squared minus 4K minus 8 equals 0. So that's your A value. So A equals 1, B equals 8, and your C equals K squared minus 4K minus 8. So if we do B squared minus 4AC in here, so B squared minus 4AC equals 0. The reason is because tangent, in the exam, you don't have to show Y is tangent. I mean, Y is equal 0. They assume you know. In here, for your understanding, is because of tangent. So B squared is 8 squared minus 4 times A times C. Okay, 64, expand bracket, minus 4K squared, plus 16K, plus 32 equals 0. So you get minus 4K squared, plus 16K, plus 96 equals 0. As a quadratic, I put in a calculator, you should get K equal plus and minus, or 2 plus and minus 2 root 7. And that's your answer straight away. Okay? But that's a long way. Okay? In a burger sense, what do we mean by a long way of eating a burger? It means you eat it with the pickles. Okay? And that's disgusting. And what's a smart way? Well, you remove the pickles. Simple as. All right? Remove the pickles. So if you're a pickle fan in a burger, I'm sorry I offend you. Actually, I'm not too sorry. So what's a smart way then? Okay, if we draw the circle, okay, so the circle, if I draw a circle out, the center is 2 minus 4. So roughly here, let's call this 2 minus 4. Okay, that means this is 2, this is negative 4. Okay, now X equals K means it must be a horizontal, vertical line. X equals K. So the line must be this. Right? So the line must be this. Or this. Right? So it must be these two. So, and what do we know about these two? These two must be perpendicular because there's tangent. So if this perpendicular means the radius we know is 2 root 7, right? The radius. So this is the k value. This is k1. This is k2. The k1 must be, so we know the distance here is 2 root 7. Therefore, the k1 must be 2 minus 2 root 7. And the k2 must be 2 plus 2 root 7. Now, if you struggle to understand, think about this. Imagine we're not using 2 root 7. Imagine we use the radius as 3 instead. Then the k1 value, the x-coordinate of k1 will be 2 subtract 3, and for k2 will be 2 plus 3. And that's it. Yeah, that's a smart way. That's why it's 2 marks, if you're wondering. And that's the end of the lesson.